Guys, welcome back to the Damsel in Success podcast. Hope you guys had an awesome Monday. I have been at home with a sick child all day, and I don't know if you can tell by my voice. Started to get a little touch of it too. I think that it's allergies, hopefully so, because he sounds awful. But we're about to go attempt baseball practice, so we'll see how that goes. But today I want to talk to you guys about seasons. And not necessarily seasons outside, even though we're coming up on my favorite. It's about to be fall, and I'm so excited. Talking to you guys about seasons in your life, okay? So some seasons are great, some seasons kind of suck, all right? But we have to remember that in those seasons that are great, things are not always going to be great. We have to be grateful for the times that they're really, really awesome. And we have to enjoy them and not take them for granted, because there are seasons that are not so fun. But in those not so fun seasons, we have to remember that, we can't be consumed by that. We can't let that just overrule us, because things will be good again. And, it's a constant cycle. You're up, you're down, you're all over the place, and that's totally normal. But in those seasons that are kind of trying for us, we have to remember that, we cannot stop just because things may not be exactly favorable all the time. We have to remember to keep going and to keep chugging along and doing everything that we can to make sure that we do get to those good seasons again. We don't want to just stay down here, okay? Just make sure. And another point of that too, I heard on another podcast earlier that your suffering, the amount that you suffer, is equal to how much that you don't want things to be the way they are. And that's a little bit of a confusing concept, but I want to talk to you guys about that. So if you are really, 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 really upset about something, it's usually because that you wish that whatever you're upset about wasn't that way. You're not happy with that reality, and you don't want to accept that reality. And the more and more and more and more and more that you don't want to accept that reality, the more upset that you're going to be. Whereas if you're kind of indifferent, you're like, okay, whatever. You're not really going to be that upset, right? Now, don't get me wrong. It's okay to be upset. It's totally fine to be upset. But let me just tell y'all that it's so much easier. If it's something that you cannot change, have that mentality. I know that seems a little morbid sometimes, because there's some really, really awful things that happen. But if you can't change it, why are you so upset about it? It's okay to grieve. It's okay to deal with it in your own way. But if something detrimental happens that you cannot change, there's no way to go back and change it. You're going to grieve yourself to death. If you have to accept that, okay? Now, believe me, I know that there are some really, really traumatic things out there, and I know people are going to say, Nikki, that's called denial. You can't. No, it's not. It's right the opposite of denial, to be honest. If you look at whatever it is that's so traumatic and so horrible, and you say, okay, I accept it, this is going to change my life, but it's not going to change my life for the worse. It's going to change my life for the better. I'm not going to let this bad thing that happened be done in vain. There's going to be something good that comes from it. And it's very, very difficult to have that mentality. I understand. I know really, really bad things happen. But I want you guys to understand that if there's nothing that you can do about it, if you cannot change it, then there's no need in you grieving yourself to death. Yes, give it the emotion that it needs. Get mad, get sad, get whatever you've got to get, and accept it so that you can move on and not let that bad thing happen in vain. Try to make something good come from it, okay? And I know, believe me, I know that's a whole lot easier said than done, but I know that you guys can do that. And in those bad seasons, just remember that. You don't want those bad seasons to have been just wasted, just done in vain. You want to make sure that you're chugging forward. And honestly, some of those bad days are motivation for me, because I'm like, okay, here's that bad day. Here's what happened. How can I make sure that doesn't happen again? Or what did I learn from it? Why was it a bad day? Was it a bad day, or was it a bad 5 minutes that I turned into a bad day? And that's something else to think about too. Are really bad days really that bad? Or did something bad happen and then we just carried that negative energy throughout the day instead of, just like I said earlier, accepting it, oh, I can't change it, and moving on from it? So just think about that next time that you say, "Oh, I had the worst day ever." Did you really? Did you really have the worst day ever? Or did you have maybe something inconvenient happen and you just kept a sourpuss attitude all day? So just think about that. And then again, whenever you get to the great seasons, the seasons where you're so excited and everything's going really, really great, please, y'all, don't judge the people that are in the bad seasons, because it's so easy for us to forget, right? Whenever everything's going great, it's easy for us to forget whenever things are not so great. So if you can help somebody, if you can be that motivation, if you can be just that little voice, just that little bit of encouragement to somebody, be that. I beg you to be that for somebody. So I hope that you guys, again, have had an awesome Monday. We're going to go to try to get through baseball practice. I'm not going to be doing a whole lot of yelling today, it doesn't sound like. But I appreciate you guys listening. I appreciate all the support, everything that you guys do. You're all so amazing. Hope that you have a great night, and we'll talk to you again soon.